started streaming.
Is there anybody you can contact about that? Get them to look at it? Probably
I will. I'll reach out.
Oh, good idea.
To the people responsible for allowing me to use the incorrect streaming key.
It's probably Apple you need to talk to.
Yeah, that's good luck. Good luck getting through. We are live. We're live.
Hello.
On the internet.
Oh, again with the internet.
Hey, we're just internet famous, Brett. We're not on cable yet.
I told you the internet's going to ruin everything.
And it practically has.
At any given moment in tonight's broadcast thus far, we have had as many as 5 concurrent viewers.
Tonight's broadcast so far?
6. Now 6. And a like. Thank you for liking us, if you just did. I know one of you did.
That's nice. That is
and
nice.
There's one of us.
Well, was it you, Brett? Did you like us?
I can't even see the video yet. It's because I need the keys. I need the
Dave
URL
S.
key.
Dave S. says, "Welcome back, Jeremy."
Well, thank you.
Why can't I see the video?
I don't know. Why
you always have this problem, but it's because you have this weird...
Let me switch browsers.
No, I will back right off on this one.
See?
And the YouTube comments ain't coming through yet.
Al Bundy said he was number 6. Excellent. We're up to 17 now. Good morning.
Hello.
Or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, good morning or good evening. We're waiting for Josh Walrath.
Good day to you.
We will begin the show.
You gotta wait till I get the URL captured here. I don't have it yet. Somebody's probably said, "Oh, I have it." Oh, yeah, somebody's got it.
Okay.
Ollie, thanks.
The stream URL always looks the same on my end. It's just like youtube.com/live2.
Okay, that's not it.
I know it's not it.
It's not it. You're just confusing the issue now.
Probably
Stop
TANOSFSJKM. That might be it.
Okay, stop it. I'm trying to work here.
It will be morning eventually, but we're not going to 3 a.m. tonight or 1 a.m. or whatever time zone you're in.
I already said that in the email that I sent out.
No 3-hour stream.
No.
This evening.
Did you read the email I sent out?
No.
Good for you.
Time for that.
Oh.
I'm reviewing stuff, Brett.
You're making news. You don't need to read about it. You're making news.
Yes.
Who needs to read about it? Hey, that should put the live page live. Do that thing.
Can you do the thing?
Sure.
It should be.
The mouse is off the screen. Yes.
John has a long mustache.
Okay. Oh, you know what else? I should actually get rid of this where it says PC per podcast live up on the top here. Let me get rid of that.
What are you talking about?
I have a filter that I use so you don't see
shit, that's on
the Skype controls.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason it's gone. Okay, great.
That's because you don't control the Skype. The Skype controls you.
Did we tell Josh there was a stream tonight?
No.
You want to? While I adjust borders.
I'm pretty sure that he knows there is.
He would
try.
I'm sure he does. Let's see. Let me fix this.
I see him on the line.
Transform center.
Damn you. Stop it.
What am I doing wrong here?
You have not watered your plant. I think that's what's going on. Did you water the plant?
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I put the filter on the wrong thing.
Have you yelled at somebody about your pipe yet?
No. I'm being passive aggressive about the pipe.
So you're ignoring it till it changes its form.
Yes.
Yeah, until it starts turning green.
I think I can relax this. Hold on a second.
Just relax into it.
You're taking this opportunity to relax at this point.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to relax the crop. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think someone has pointed out what you're doing wrong is you're drinking Miller Lite. I think that's...
I know. Hey, look, I take a lot of guff, if that's the right word.
It is.
For my questionable choices in alcohol. When my wife calls me from the grocery store...
That's not even alcohol.
Look, when my wife calls me from the grocery store and she's like, "Do you want any beer?" I'm like, I don't care. Yes. And then she says, "What kind?" And I'm like, I don't know, something cheap with a lot.
Okay, you deserve
in
it
the
then.
box. Right. So this is what she brings home inevitably, and I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be picky about it because I'm not the one shopping. Let's see, 96. How about 90? Let's go with a crop of 90. Nope. We can go lower. How about 60? Will 60 cover everything?
How low can you go?
Wait. Top needs to be probably what? 80? Okay. That's better. It's less widescreen.
I'll take your word for it.
Because the bottom, yeah.
Oh, right. That's another thing I was trying to do today. Was watch that FreeSync thing that I didn't even get a chance to.
What FreeSync thing?
Oh, AMD did a FreeSync presentation earlier this week. Tuesday? Monday? Tuesday, Wednesday? But they were mostly vendor stuff, like how you're going to sell it, but usually you get a little bit of info out of them too. Like a lot of FreeSync TVs coming up.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how they're going to work it, but I'm curious.
Oh, there's the show notes. I lost that tab. I found it.
Oh, yeah, I should probably have that open too, huh?
Yeah. I only added one thing, I think. Well, technically two things. Oh, no. Somebody else went in there and did something.
Uh-oh. Wasn't me.
As somebody, because it wasn't there when I sent out the show notes earlier. It's not my fault when we go off script. Okay, yeah, that generally is my fault, but this part won't.
It's Jeremy. I blame Jeremy. He's editing right now.
Control A, delete.
I see him.
Josh has had access in there too, but he's not on the call yet.
I gave him one reading. He says, "Give me a min."
All right. He's got to put a shirt on.
And water his plant. At least he's watering his plant.
Metaphorically speaking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And by watering that plant, I mean, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
I'm not saying anything.
That's rude.
I hope so.
Things.
See, I have an unpick for tonight. I can't wait to explain that.
I do. I bet you're going to be really, really glowing about it.
Shh.
Only if it's an Apple product.
That's not true. I've complained about their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was my out-of-spec ears I was complaining about. Okay, I blamed myself.
Let's see. Make sure my browser tab is working properly. Is browser working? Nope. Yes. Kind of.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at doing the browser view.
I see that.
Looks okay. I usually cover over that stuff when I do the podcast edit. I just get clean screen grabs.
Oh, yeah, that's probably
and paste them over the top of this live stuff. It usually works better to have the site at like 150%. But that's too big. That's too big. Take off. Is there any filters in here? What's going on here?
Mute that. Sorry, I'm muting the questions channel. Just for a little while.
This over that. Why are you muting questions? That's rude.
Because it was beeping in my ears. It's only for an hour.
And what am I doing? I'm moving stuff that I shouldn't be moving.
You are.
I need to find the corner of this thing.
You're pixels away. Now you're further away.
It's better. This is better. See,
who are you trying to convince?
I'm trying to convince whoever's watching live. Look, I'm sorry you're watching me do this all on one monitor, which I should never do.
Near, far, near, far.
There. Just drink up some more confidence.
That's right. Unfortunately, this is my first of the night, so it's not exactly instilling confidence at this point.
Well, the good news is this is as drunk as you're going to be all night.
Yep. Now there's a glass.
Mug from an old pub.
PC Pro. Let's try that again.
Mine too, actually.
Feed 1.
Not a mug.
Feed 2. There we go.
Back in the days when lifestyle still existed.
Mm.
It was a wonderful pub. Run by a wonderful man. Who's still with us. It's only the pub that died.
Ah.
Well, and a few friends along the way, but shit happens.
Hey, you guys want to do a show tonight or what? Oh, no, we can't do anything right now.
Yes, we can, because Josh is here.
Hey! Any moment now.
And we're live. Josh, warning. We're live. Warning, just to warn you.
He's dancing.
He's also quiet. You got the thing. You got to do the mic.
Monkey pushes the button.
Shock the monkey.
Oh.
Oh, no. We have to intuit what he's saying.
I need audio, Josh. I need your audio.
How good are you at Morse code? Can you blink it out?
Captain, she won't take any more audio.
That's the most laid back Scotty I've ever heard.
It was, wasn't it? I didn't feel like I could go over the top on that one. I think I'm going to be laid back tonight. I'm going to try it out.
Hey, speaking of laid back and people who do extremely laid back ad reads, Brett, is there an ad tonight that I need to know about? It was laid back. I'm not saying it was low energy. It had a low key energy.
Did that work?
It did.
Yes.
Yes.
Hear you.
Yeah, you guys suck. Y'all just suck.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can with what I got, which isn't much, mind. Too loud? Too soft? It
No,
looks like
perfect.
it's Mac.
Just
How about that?
The bridge is smashed.
We're in the bridge, but of
Mm.
course we were on it at the time.
I'll just normalize the audio later, Josh. It's fine.
You know, I had to do
Let's
like
Skype
5
with-
takes for that too. And it ended up, that was the one I hated the least.
Yeah, you sent me take 4, according to the file name.
Okay.
I had to do a lot of surgery on it, but it worked.
You should send them all. You are not the best judge of what is good.
No, I'm embarrassed.
Never
I'll never do it again.
No, it's fine. I don't mind having something to work with. I expanded the waveform until it was just,
It was quiet.
huge.
It was
And
quiet.
anywhere it was a flat line, I just selected it and cut it. And I went through and I eliminated every momentary gap
Yes.
in your read, and it became super tight.
Yes.
And it still was about 57 seconds long.
Hey, it was 58.5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Ish.
All right. Are we ready to do this?
Okay.
I don't
The
know.
thing-
Are we?
Yes.
I'm looking at my usage because I just had downloaded and had to reinstall NVIDIA Broadcast because I swapped out video cards and they're cranky about that apparently. And my mouse just freezes for no particular reason now.
Is it hardware accelerated?
Is it 3D accelerated?
It's something, but it's a pain in the ass.
It's a ray
Could
tracing
be the
mouse.
stupid hardware acceleration.
Here's this week's poll question for the podcast viewers who are watching live. Do you prefer DX11, DX12, or Vulkan for your mouse drivers? Mouse acceleration.
Metal. Only
Oh,
metal.
well, of course. I mean, certain people are using metal.
S3 metal? Yes.
Yes.
It wasn't me.
That's what they all say.
You're the one going to be getting a new Mac Mini.
Oh, mental. Now there's a name I haven't
That
heard
was
in
a
a while.
joke, Brett.
It was not a joke. You
I
were
was trying to be
serious.
super alternative because people were talking about alternatives to things. And I said, hell, I'll just get an ARM-powered Mac Mini and use that for
Mhm.
everything.
Well, you know what? Your hair's not sticking up enough to be alternative, so there.
It's sticking up pretty high.
It's okay.
It needs to grow more.
I wish I had hair.
This is a two-pack.
Yes, Mirror, I know mantle equals Vulcan. I just haven't heard anyone call it mantle in I don't know how many years.
All right, well, this is 599. This is not 600. That's next week.
$5.99. Thank you.
You pay.
Thank you.
When it's time to
Thank
announce
you.
the episode number, I want Josh to do it. I wish he would just host the show for Christ's sake, but I'm just, whatever.
No.
I know.
The thing about seniority is we get to pick and choose our jobs.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's also true.
Shit.
But we can pretend to. The young ones don't know this, Josh.
Hey, I'm grandfathered into this role, Josh, and you can't take it away from me until you do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to start a show, whether you guys are ready or not.
Boom.
I'm not ready.
Oh, you know what? I should probably start the recording.
Yep.
Hold on. Hit record. Recording has started. And hey, we always have the offline stream to fall back on for an even lower quality edit later on.
Perfect.
Okay. In 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode number
$5.99. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Sebastian Peak.
You.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Johnny Shee.
You are.
I'm Brett Van Spoonberg tonight.
It's just tonight, though. We're going to get our housekeeping stuff out of the way. Did you know that you can subscribe to our email list? It's an exclusive list. We called it the spam list at some point. I've said the list word. I've said word. Let me start over again. I've said the word list about 7 times so far. Subscribe to our email list to be updated about things like going live, like when we go live. I cannot talk tonight. I will cut all of this out in the edit.
No, this is
Subscribe to our email list to be alerted before live events like this podcast recording session. And you can help support PC Perspective. You can be one of the few, the proud, the PC Per patrons at patreon.com/PCPer. Support the arts. Be a patron of the arts. Because this is art. We're making art.
Yes.
It is art.
Oh, hey.
And
Brett,
art hurts us more than it hurts you.
is there an update on the Patreon front this evening, or am I misreading this?
No, you're not misreading it at all. We would like to welcome 2 additional patron members this week. Matt Ezzo, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, and just Stefan or Steven. I'm never really sure how to pronounce the
That's
PH.
That's Steven.
It is?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
a Steven then. And so, yes, please throw in a couple of clappings for the new patron members. We thank you.
Was the golf clap too sarcastic last week?
No, I felt it was a little bit more than golf clap. I felt it was like, hey, that was a nice show. I didn't feel like that was a nice putt. I think you could go
So
more
a
golf.
cricket clap.
I may have layered the sound effect over itself to make it more full.
Yeah,
So this
that was
time I
it.
could just do a little
Yeah, pull it back.
golf clap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit more nice putt.
And we need to continue. We have quite a few already, but we need to continue gathering questions for the upcoming return of the mailbag. Josh explains things 2.0.
Bad.
Yep.
But you'll make an effort.
Maybe.
Yep. We could always set your answers to a musical sting or maybe some sort of, background music.
Oh,
Maybe.
for sure. We can always add peppy background music to everything. I've
Josh
considered
answers
adding it.
questions with Sting in the background.
Well, we can't use Sting. It has to be a YouTube library equivalent of Sting. Okay.
Gordon
You
Sumner.
don't even want to. Why are you bothering me?
If I ever lose my faith in 10 nanometer.
Nice.
Before we get to the news, we have to start with a burger update because we actually have one this week, Josh, don't we?
Yeah, this one was called the Sunshine, and it was quite tasty. It's 2 all beef patties, locally sourced, never frozen meat, cream cheese, which is kind of odd, but it worked. Guacamole, which mixed with cream cheese was shockingly good. Cucumbers, tomatoes, topped with a chipotle sauce. It was very filling. It's quite good. Thanks for asking.
Sounds like
Sunshine.
an experience.
Yeah.
More
Does
than a
not
meal.
fit through there anymore.
Uh-oh.
There's another cat break.
Yeah, she made it through this window most of the way, but was too chicken to do it because it was almost a month ago and she was much more wee. So now she knows that she went through it once, but she's bigger now, so her head doesn't fit.
Maybe doesn't stop her from trying. Bigger window.
No, the idea is to keep her in. 4 months and unfixed. We don't need surprises coming up.
No.
All right. Let's move on to news topics. And I don't think we've really gone all that heavily into the whole NVIDIA capacitor trash to desktop drama with the 3080 yet.
No, I don't think we've talked about it.
Did you check yours yet, Josh?
Yeah, I'm good to go. I mean, I can talk about a little bit of it.
Well,
let you know what we all kind of figured out.
Cool.
Well, there's all the different theories about the design and the types of caps being used, and there's a lot of people who've become experts all of a sudden on this and offered their own commentary about it. There have been some really in-depth looks at it, like Gamers Nexus, for example. And then Igor's lab, of course, has been at the forefront of this whole thing. And what ended up happening is, while they didn't make a big public play out of this, NVIDIA did release updated drivers that changed the boost behavior of the 3080 a little bit. In fact, maybe affecting the boost behavior of the 20 series cards as well. So you can read about it over at Igor's Labs on the article about the miracle drivers, how NVIDIA solved the crashes of the GeForce RTX 3080 and 3090.
They renamed it Quack.
About this.
Well, I think that I think the long and short of it is, okay, first of all, people are saying those caps on the back, the big black ones, they're cheap, and that's not true. Those are all pretty good polymer based caps. What makes it a little bit harder with the smaller caps is it's a lot more soldering, and so the placement is harder for the automated machines that actually made these versus just those big old, I can't remember, they're called P caps or something like that. But they're a polymer based cap. And remember many years ago when capacitors on motherboards, went from fluid to polymers, and there was a huge increase in stability and longevity and overall quality. I mean, these caps are still pretty expensive. It's just the placement versus the ceramic ones that they have there. But it seems like the ability to adjust to significant changes in kind of power, I don't want to say throughput, but the
power delivery,
what it is. Yeah. Power delivery is that the GPU requires a lot more power really quickly, and in some places this polymer cap, I mean, it exhausts itself faster, and you may get, if you look at those power and grounds and how it's all connected, I mean, it could very simply be, it just can't refill itself fast enough, using a liquid term, because fluid dynamics and electronics and pressure and volume and stuff like that all actually kind of works as comparisons, but they're not cheap. And if you get one that has 6 of those, if you install the new drivers, it looks like NVIDIA is adjusting how it handles boost. So for example, the XC3 that I have here, it doesn't really boost that high comparatively. I mean, it can get to 1870, 1920 sometimes, but it doesn't go to that 2 gigahertz plus that other cards did. And it seems like some people are getting some GPUs that are able to boost pretty high. And so those designs with the all polymer caps in the back, they just can't potentially keep up with some of those boost states. Now, the GPUs don't stay at those boost states for very long.
But it doesn't take long to crash one out, does it?
1 or 2 seconds, if that, and then it'll drop back down, just because of the way that it handles power draw and heat. And, it's a really, really complex way of kind of managing it all. And NVIDIA is able to get really good performance out of these, but it just seems like it hits some boost clocks that it just falls over and it crashes the desktop. And they've adjusted that seemingly in drivers. And I know for my XC3, when I installed the Precision X1, there was a new firmware update as well. And my overall performance did go down a little bit, but we're talking maybe 1% at max in really heavy duty stuff. But otherwise, I mean, it's essentially the same. And they've been able to adjust the behavior of these boost clocks so that it doesn't hit those really, really, really high spots, but maybe it can hit almost really high spots for longer. And so it really does not affect performance that much. It's really seems like they've optimized it so you get still pretty much the same performance. I know like Brad Chacos from PC World did some testing and he saw no difference whatsoever. Maybe somebody has some really high boosting GPU that is going to be affected a little bit more because of it, it had good power delivery, but the drivers have kind of busted that down a little bit. But that's going to be a pretty rare case versus nobody noticing anything at all. Is that clear as mud? Did I explain that? Okay.
It makes sense.
No.
Very well.
Okay.
I wanted to show, as we continue, I wanted to show this visual from Igor's lab. You can watch this as it animates. You can see it's showing the new drivers right now. Here are the old drivers, new drivers. It's the same axis here. It's still 400 watts up at the top here, but it's not hitting that anymore. Like there were peaks of over 400 watts with the old drivers. This is a high power consumption. It's like a torture test. And it's not boosting quite the same way. It's not drawing power as aggressively as it once did. There's a couple more examples here. There's some very in-depth reporting here, but you have old versus new, and you can just see the new driver, the behavior of the card is more conservative. It is,
but as Josh was saying, by like 1% or 2%.
Yeah, but it's something you can see, especially if you zoom in. And so Igor's lab, I think, has the best coverage on this so far. But it's I think the best case scenario for for NVIDIA, if this was something where they could literally tweak the driver, take a 1% to 2% performance hit, and fix the problems that the vast majority is having with their hardware, and not have to do some massive, incredibly expensive recall.
But the question is, how the hell did they miss it?
Well,
lack of testing.
Easy answer.
And to be fair, it's not NVIDIA, it's the OEMs. The Founders Editions don't seem to have this.
Correct. But also part of it is NVIDIA wanted to cut down on the leaks. And the leakiest people on the world are these OEMs.
Fair.
I mean, they've got thousands of people who have contacts throughout the world, and they are like, oh yeah, this is X amount performance, and here's some leak stuff, and here's some of the benchmarks I did because hey, you're a buddy of mine, we go out and drink every once in a while. And NVIDIA really clamped down on the partners this time. And so I mean, we didn't see nearly the leaks. It was a week before we saw anything concrete before the launch. And even then, it was only a couple little things. So, I mean, NVIDIA did a pretty good job. But the bad side is the partners did not have the hardware and the drivers and everything to test until much later in development than what we'd usually see, I think.
That's right, right.
I mean, as this is not confirmed, but this is what kind of people have been talking about and what, we've
it seems feasible.
But yeah, it's they wanted to make a big splash, and they did, and there was a secondary splash because of just the way it was handled. And so, I mean, they're doing damage control.
Yep.
But I mean, the long and short of it is that you're not really going to lose that much performance. I mean, they're going to tweak that TDP curve and power draw, and you're still going to get pretty good boosts. Just that you're not going to have those really, really peaky ones that potentially could drain that. And I mean, the OEMs also, the board manufacturers, they're changing things up. I think Gigabyte had the full 6 big caps versus the 5+10 or the 4+20s. Asus TUF had 4+20. My EVGA is 5+10. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's 5 of the big P caps and 10 of these small ceramic caps in the back that's doing the main power delivery to the GPU. So there's it's not like you're seeing a massive drop in performance. Most people will not notice it at all unless they really get in there with oscilloscopes and a lot of hours of testing. So it's a quality control issue. I hope I'm not sounding like an NVIDIA apologist, because this is something that should have been caught, but again, they didn't have the partners didn't have the time. I mean, they took the reference designs, tweaked them where they could, adjusted the price point. Like Zotac is probably the closest to the reference with the least expensive components, and that was the group that probably had the most complaints about the crash to desktops, and Gigabyte is kind of next in line, and everybody else is kind of above that. But you can bet that these groups will be adjusting their designs in the future. But the 3080 is still a really fast card.
That's the thing.
Let me ask you.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that the crash to desktop or any of the other instabilities is something that we've seen in the past when you push a card too hard with manual overclocks, maybe a little bit more voltage, run it a little hotter, you're going to get this sort of behavior? And I'm seeing some of the reviews finding out, gosh, there's not a lot of headroom left in these cards. What's the crazy thought here?
Oh, there's not.
Right,
exactly.
So let's put 2 and 2 together on this, and you're like, they push these cards right up to the edge, pretty darn close.
Yeah, and that has been since probably the 600 series from NVIDIA. We saw, I remember, Tap came on to PC Per with Ryan, and he really talked about how the internal controls, how it was able to boost up, and how you could do the power delivery, the power target up to increase clocks, and it would have a better boost behavior. But if it hit certain TDPs and power draw, it would drop it back down. And they just live on the ragged edge, which who in the hell is texting me? Stop it, people. But anyway, it's my friend Honda Man, and he knows that I'm doing this, and I don't know why he's texting me in the middle. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they're right on the ragged edge, and they do per chip. I mean, they have algorithms and drivers and firmware and sensors throughout these massive 26 billion transistor chips. Why is my wife whistling in the back too? Why? What is wrong with people?
You might want to take that from the top, Josh.
26 billion transistors.
I don't want to take it from the top. Anyway, they've got these massive chips, 26 billion transistors. They've got sensors throughout. That monitor temperature and power draw, and I don't know. There's other sensors that monitor, probably the signal quality in between areas. I mean, they just have a ton of stuff in there. Apparently, my wife's going to bed and yelling at my kids. Why?
But let's talk about high-frequency capacitor filtering.
Can we talk about something simple for a second that I can understand?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Why is NVIDIA selling a card that's this close to its limit as far as what this GPU can do? To the point where AIBs... Well, my point is, why?
Because they can, and there's a certain amount of control that they have over it if the software and firmware are in sync.
Okay.
Because they can, I mean, they say, okay, here's your base clock, 1710. on this GPU. And that's what you're guaranteed to have. Anything above that is gravy. And so all of these boost at least to, 1800, 1820. And then you've got others that will go up to 1900. And then you've got still others that are really high quality GPUs, whether they're from the, middle of the wafer or whatever. I mean, they'll jump up to 2 gigahertz. But I mean, they're covering their ass by saying the minimum you're going to get is 1710, and your performance is still going to be very good. Anything above that, we can't guarantee, but you're going to get 1710.
My point is, the Founders Edition should be a higher performance card than a base card, yet they set the price at $699 for all 3080s. If the Founders Edition had launched at $799, you're paying this extra premium not only for this ultra fancy industrial design and this new cooler design, because there used to be a premium attached to Founders Edition, and there isn't now.
But that's because they used to do a base card. Now the Founders Edition is the base card.
My point is, not really a base card.
If AIBs,
from the manufacturer.
Yeah. If AIBs had a reference design that was clocked a little bit lower, like maybe 1680, maybe just a little bit lower than that, and then they could build up and kind of bin and select what they wanted to make their slight overclock cards, one that was like an FE equivalent, one that was a little bit higher than an FE. I don't understand this generation of cards being this close to the edge, like a Radeon card. Like there's not a whole lot of overclocking headroom with AMD's RDNA stuff.
I mean, there was no overclocking headroom with the RTX 2000 series.
Yeah, very little. They could get up to like 2040, I think. But not consistently, no. Yeah. I mean, you could lock in a lower frequency than that, but there was a little bit of headroom depending on the card. But anyway, it wouldn't have changed the situation that we're in now. Even if the card was $799, it would still be out of stock, and it still would have been. I mean, because you can't buy one at any price, so who cares what the price actually is?
Well, yeah, I mean, Newegg was teasing us today. I think that they were doing some serious testing with their website and bots by having add to cart on their main 3080 3090 page with only a pair of cards, the Asus TUF and the Gigabyte one. And I tried adding it, and of course the first thing it says is this has been removed from your cart, but you can go ahead and try to check out anyway. And so it seems like not Nvidia, but Newegg at least is testing out how bots are reacting to its website. And hopefully that means there will be some changes in the next group of cards being dropped. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of faith, but at least it seems like they're trying to do something to mitigate the PR disaster that's been the 3080, 3090 launch.
But no, that just sounds like I train half my bots to say yes and half to say no and start from scratch again and bifurcate from there, because you can do a lot of iterations really quickly. But at least it's something.
I don't understand why NVIDIA didn't have, like, if you signed up for the GeForce experience and we've got your information and data and you want one of these cards, put in a request for it. We'll have a lottery. These people get. That would seem like it. I mean, does that seem fair? Do you think that would be against the law?
Everything's against the law.
Yeah, well.
But not unreasonable.
Because you're a snowflake, Jeremy.
Cost you.
Snowflake.
Doesn't cost you to join into the lottery, then yeah, all right.
Nope. Yeah. No, I mean, it's free. GeForce Experience is free.
I mean, that's how we did the Olympics up here. When Vancouver hosted the Olympics, you didn't get to buy a ticket. You got to put yourself into a lottery. And if you won the lottery, then you could pay for the ticket. And if you couldn't pay for the ticket, you had to abandon it, and the next person got it.
But what about the riots after the hockey game?
That was the Stanley Cup. That wasn't
okay.
The Olympics.
Did you have to still get tickets for that one too?
No, it was coming. I knew it. I even warned Ryan that he probably didn't want to come up to watch that game. But I had a good friend at a fairly tall apartment, not downtown, so we just sort of watched the smoke plumes from downtown. It was amusing.
Yeah, nice.
Because that's what
If
happens when
buying a
Vancouver.
ticket to torch a cop car, that sounds like.
We don't think that he bought a ticket. We're really pissed off because there were tickets for burning a cop car, but that was a totally different one.
Yeah.
Don't know if you ever grew up in a small town with that sort of lottery at fairs. It's like $10 and you get to smash with a sledgehammer an old cop car that's been retired.
We did that. But
that's what you're talking about.
What were we talking about again?
We're moving on. We're moving on to the next topic.
AMD.
We're talking about AMD.
Hey, wait, before you do that,
performance.
I just want to say that we have a new Patreon that joined while we were chatting here. And before we lose track of what this was about, they have set their name to be $5.99 is all I will have left with all the new hardware coming out this season.
Like $5.99?
5.99.
Is that what they pledged by any chance? Is the $5.99?
I won't reveal anyone's pledge.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, did you know that the AMD Ryzen 7 5800X is going to be faster than a 10900K?
Good for
Tell us.
AMD if that's the case.
Define faster.
Ashes of the Singularity benchmark, the only benchmark that matters.
The only one that matters.
The only one that matters.
But Sebastian,
Arguably,
it's only 8 cores and 16 threads. How can it be?
Because of Zen 3 technology, Brett.
Okay.
Because Zen 3 is better than Zen 2.
it's one more.
And Zen 2 is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Still is.
Let's look at this little chart that they came up with.
Zen 3 has more
Comparing
pixies.
10900K to Ryzen 7 5800X leaked Ashes of the Singularity benchmark. If you go to just the average, Core i9 10900K averaged 114.8 frames per second, and the 5800K averaged 133.6. That is a increase of 16.4%. Now, Ashes, that's pretty big. Ashes is very multi-thread optimized, very AMD friendly benchmark. It's kind of it was the go-to benchmark for AMD fans, I think, for a while. I don't remember why I got annoyed with it, but I stopped using it. It was inconsistent from run to run or something. But
it was.
I
could always
got a real fan of the game here in the Discord. Somebody who's played 1,000 hours of it. I'm not sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like actually played it, not just run benchmarks.
I've only ever run the canned benchmark in that game.
Ashes the benchmark. Yeah. Well, maybe it's a rumor. He'll come out of the woodwork.
The other rumor that I saw about this is that they're doing kind of reverse multi-threading, and I find this unlikely because of just the way.
You did hear this too?
Yeah, I just that whole multi-thread fusion into one single powerful thread. I mean, that's been kind of the holy grail of programming and silicon, is that you have all parallel computing. But I mean, if you think about how a single thread is executed, and you can't break it up into parts very easily. I mean, they've been talking about this for decades. It's like fusion for computers. It's always 20 years away. So I don't know. I think that is highly unlikely. We would probably have heard something from Hot Chips about an effective way to do this, and they're kind of showing off that technology. But
that stuff would leak.
They never did.
That would leak.
So you would think. So yeah, I don't see that, where I just see that AMD really improved their IPC, and I don't know if this benchmark is accurate. I don't think it's entirely accurate. I think Zen 3 is going to be an IPC jump where it's going to match Intel, if not get a little bit farther away from them. But I don't know if it's going to be a massive 16 to 17%. I mean, it's going to improve IPC, and they're going to improve clocks.
Yeah,
but not that much.
Hey, Josh, somebody wants to know if they can get a refund on their Oracle licensing under reverse multi-threading.
I was just about to tell them that no, you won't, but they will sue you 10 years from now for it.
I think they're going to find a way to charge you more for
ESXi, yes. Hello, ESXi. I've got far fewer threads on this VM. I'd like to get a refund.
Yeah, the answer is a polite no.
It's not a polite no, but it is a no.
Made the polite part up.
You're always trying to be so politically correct. Is that the right term? Okay.
Usually I'm a little more edgy. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Hey, speaking of edgy, think about this. A Gen 4 PCIe SSD. So PCI Express 4.0 NVMe SSD with blazing fast QLC memory. Think about it. The Rocket Q4 from Sabrent. It's new.
That actually kind of is.
Let's see.
What is the weird part about it?
You mean it was fast?
What in the heck is going to use QLC for PCIe 4.0? You're going to have so many. You're going to require so many channels,
right?
And it's E16.
It's still the same Phison controller. Yeah. They did slap a nice size chunk of DRAM on it to help. But what blew me away with this when they're doing like the real world transfers and such. The timing is brilliant, but it's more that it doesn't fill up and slow down to a hard drive. It ain't the fastest out there. Like, there's no question it's not the fastest, but I mean, when it's sort of averaging close to 5,000 megabytes a second, like, that's just freaking crazy. And they've got at least a little bit of a confidence in it because it's got a 5-year warranty on it. Because a lot of these you'll see there's a limited warranty, or there might be like a 3-year warranty on it. But in a lot of these tests, it's keeping up with significantly more better built drives. Partly because Sabrent's been doing this for freaking ever, and so they know what they're doing. But the other issue is, and I didn't actually link to the Amazon for some reason, which I really should have, is like they're pumping it out in 1, 2, and 4 terabyte sizes. So they're acknowledging that, this is kind of cheap cheap flash, and this is the way we're going to do it. But like I'm assuming they haven't redirected me, the 4 terabyte is $750. That's not exactly cheap, but for a 4 terabyte, it's not too damn bad. Like that is a huge amount of storage. You drop it down a little bit to the more reasonable 1 terabyte, and it's $160. For QLC, a little bit expensive, but PCIe 4.0. So you're still paying Phison for the fact that that's the only damn controller you got on the planet, and there's a little bit of RAM on there. So it was better than I expected. Because I saw this and I'm like, Sabrent, what the hell do you think you're thinking of? And it turned out that, for a QLC drive, it almost makes sense.
They've been pretty aggressive with their productization in not only just the old PCIe 3.0 NVMe, but I mean they had some of the first offerings, and typically good performance, but cheaper than the rest, whether that be Corsair, the Gigabyte Aorus, a couple other, examples of the PCI 4.0 using that same Phison E16. Sabrent's done a nice job, and you don't hear a lot of bad stuff about terms of quality. It just seems to work.
It was interesting to look at the lower Q depth numbers too, which is, they have an advantage with a higher capacity for writes, obviously. But if you look at,
I think this one was a 2 terabyte drive.
Yeah.
Those are the 4. Yeah.
But Q depth 1. Well, this is Q depth 8. I'm looking at here. Let's see. Where's the Q1 stuff? Here's random or sequential read. This is Q depth 1. No, it's not. It's 1 meg Q8. Okay. So I'm looking at higher Q depth stuff. I wonder if they did any Q depth 1 here, which you can of course see in some of the charts depending on which benchmark we're looking at. But things like the Optane are just going to be absolutely.
Hey, if you bought the Optane, you have to include it in every comparative review.
Yeah. But what's the the Micron P1 and the Intel 660P? Those things are kind of dog slow.
Yep. So this avoids it.
Yeah.
But you got to pay. And paying for QLC does kind of hurt a little.
Yeah. QLC is the new TLC, unfortunately.
Yep.
And I think we're going to start seeing more and more QLC Gen 4 drives because they can advertise that fast straight line speed.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they have a sufficient either SLC cache or enough DRAM. What was the amount of DRAM? I'm sure it varies
They're
by capacity.
being pretty closed lip on that, to be honest.
I think it's like a max of 4 gigs for.
Honestly, I think
they typically have done a 1 gig per terabyte, I think.
Yeah, but and I expect that because they're being closed-lipped on it, that's going to be about the same. But it's actually getting frustrating because you'll find out the controller of the SSD and you'll find out the flash type, and then they won't tell you anything else about it.
Hey,
or
I'm
not
DRAM-less.
Right, white papers.
Can you imagine a DRAM-less QL? Well, I mean, we have DRAM-less.
Yeah,
QLC
we've seen
drives.
them. They're cheap as chips, and they're barely worth it.
They're slightly faster than a hard drive most of the time.
No, I challenge that assessment.
They're often faster than a hard drive, except for
when they're
writes.
not.
Exactly.
I can write to my USB 3 connected external like Easy Store 10 terabyte drive at a consistent 177-ish megabytes per second for hours, which I actually did because I backed up a NAS to a 10 terabyte drive that way.
That's spinning Rust, right? Yeah.
But I mean, it's 170 plus megabytes per second consistently. You can back one of those SSDs into a corner if it's QLC with no DRAM.
Come to find out, those WD Reds are actually 7,200 RPM drives, by the way.
Yeah.
Many of them.
We ever talk about that? I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah.
No. Cool story, bro, though.
Yeah, if you actually do a little bit of scientific research into your drive, you find out they just make one drive. All right.
They do. They just make one drive.
It's like the Intel thing. It's like they make one CPU.
Wait, before you move on.
What?
Another Patreon member upped their pledge because you're so entertaining. It's Josh's soothing voice. Someone just said that.
So.
They've changed their name to I have no idea what this means. Louis LeDorc deserves it in the best area. I don't know what that means.
You do know what it means.
I'm going to pretend I don't know what it means.
Doing it in the best area, you know.
I could change the emphasis.
Yeah.
Louis LeDorc deserves it in the best.
I don't know. You could
area.
Read that with a bit more of a malevolence to your voice, and it might have a different meaning entirely.
I can try. Louis LeDorc deserved it in the best area.
That sounded more menacing than.
Yeah, it was not malevolent.
I'm sorry, Brad. I'm gonna have to have you read that again. This time a little bit more malevolent.
Look, I'm gonna need another take.
He deserved it.
I'm gonna have to.
There is no ad this week, but there is this.
There is, yeah. There's.
Please vote as to which you prefer.
You know what? I'm gonna read this 4 times, and you're gonna cut it in.
Oh. I'll put different music behind each one.
Okay.
Do that.
Hey, is there an Xbox thing we need to talk about?
Yeah, let's do that. Ars Technica.
Josh's head is coming apart.
Got a
apparently they're a state in their card.
Early one. Look at this. They get one 2 months early, and they don't get to play any of the new games, of course, but they can play old games on it.
And even worse, they were given 1,000 old games they could play, and they didn't even come close to doing that.
That's sad.
The hell kind of journalism is this?
Let's see. How big is it?
They were missing a few of the headliners, from what I hear.
Yeah, but uninstalling all those games is a pain in the butt to install new ones. So,
True.
Might be time to get a new IKEA shelf here. This is an abomination.
They did discover that fast switching between games is actually works.
Yeah,
fairly
up
well.
to 8 games.
Yep, I thought it was 12.
Which is impressive.
I thought it was 12. Was it 8?
He said effectively 8.
Okay.
Up to 12 will be faster, but if you've got a core of 8, stupidly fast.
And like 8 seconds switch, right?
Yeah.
Well, under 10 seconds anyway. Solid under 10 seconds. So, yeah, nice.
They're doing so much with I/O in terms of software. It's awesome. And NVMe has allowed us to do these things because there's so much bandwidth and there's so many things you can optimize in there. And this is, it's a real value added feature. And it's one that's going to make its way to Windows 10 already with, the help of NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to be, I/O is an area that has always seemingly lagged until recently with everything else. I mean, think about how fast memory was, and then you've got a hard drive that is pushing out 14 megabytes per second way back in the day, and your memory is 400 megabytes per second, and now it's getting up there where we're PCIe 4.0 drive speeds. You can do a lot of interesting things, especially with SSD controllers, and you don't have 4 magnetic head readers skipping across to spinning Rust.
Yeah,
it's
and filling it with helium and ASMR and other tricks to get it to work better.
Hey,
I'm almost curious.
So is ASMR with hard drives is when the heads whisper really, really softly to the spinning disks. I'm gonna find something at
and they whisper
this address and do you see how that swing arm swings so fast?
Shingle.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
I was taken to a place there, and I'm not sure I like it. I found this interesting. He said, in a surprising twist,
that you might have liked it. That's the scary part.
Whether according to the author at Ars Technica, which I should actually look up his name, whether the game in question was installed on the console's built-in NVMe storage or an external USB 3.1 drive, jumping from one game to the next was clocking it at 8 to 13 seconds.
Yep.
Even when pulling Red Dead Redemption 2 or Borderlands 3 off of a USB 3.1 drive. I'm assuming USB.
Red Dead took a little bit longer. It was It was an outsider.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, it is on anything.
And that's Sam Makovech.
I really need to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I've gotten about 15 minutes into it, but
it's a lot of hunting simulator, but it's kind of relaxing.
It is.
And it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Even on my 1080. I can't wait until 1 year when
maybe in January. There will be stocks of 3080s.
Well, or big Navi.
3070s.
Just in time for Valentine's Day. I'm shooting for February.
Ti's.
I hear the in-game scenery looks a lot like where you live, actually, and a lot of horse riding.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I hear a mysterious.
Except when you go into the bayou. Not so much.
Yeah.
I apologize. You can edit out the creaking door later.
I cannot.
It's amazing how quickly you go from freezing cold mountain to really hot bayou, and there's no way to tell which friggin' outfit is which, so you just keep switching until he's not hot or cold anymore. It annoys me.
You know what annoys me? You know what annoys me? Agisa updates.
You love Agisa.
So I mean, it's great for people who want better performance from their PCs and better RAM compatibility and better boost behavior and all that crap.
Hey, how about when you're at the tail end of a 3-day testing binge? Do you like Agisa updates then?
I don't like it ever because I feel like it invalidates everything I've done. Because if performance changes, whether it's for the good or to the detriment of the product, then future comparisons are slightly skewed. Sometimes you're talking about very slight variations in frames per second in a gaming benchmark, for example. Then it can be. It has been problematic in the past. Maybe this one is just a minor change. We're talking about combo PI
1.1.0.0.
Yes.
Correct?
Because they got off of the 1.0.0.4 ABBA stuff, and they moved up to version 2. So this is actually V2, and then 1.0 something, and now we're up to 1.100. But MSI, this is on their blog. They're typically the first to jump on the new updates. And you can get the beta BIOS. I think you can already download this stuff. There are download links to all these boards, including boards that I have, like the one that AMD sent with the original reviewers kit was the Godlike.
Godlike?
I could update the Godlike. And we have, I don't know if I have an MSI B550. I don't think so. I think I just have ASRock and ASUS. But they will follow. Usually ASUS is a little bit slower to adopt the new AGESA code than MSI is.
Yeah, ASRock's pretty quick, and sometimes Gigabyte can be fast.
Yes, that's what I'm
complaining
about.
Behind. Yeah.
I like this bird's eye
awesome.
view of the update that they're
It's
showing
great,
here.
dude. Again, it's more value for us. Did you see the bong?
Soren, you're brilliant.
Uh-oh.
That's freaking awesome.
Do I dare?
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yes.
Apologies to the
Oh,
audio listeners, but you're missing out.
Okay.
I mean, you need to explain the plight of the copper tubing.
No, I have a fear of what this might be. I may have taken a picture of myself
Yeah.
the other night. Oh no, that's fine. No, this is good. It's innocuous. This is fine.
At the moment,
It's innocuous.
It's going to move on from that. But yeah, you should definitely throw it up on screen, anyways. So,
It is. It is right now. Yeah, there's a lovely copper pipe just inches off screen over here that the city plumber came in and threw. It's the most ridiculous thing because I have this shelving back here and I had shelving on that wall and he just piped up and around it and it comes way out into the room and it looks absolutely ridiculous. I will fix it someday.
One day.
Yes.
It's going to be your pick of the week again.
No. When I do it, it will be. In fact, I'll document all of it. I'll have a special live stream.
Oh yeah.
I'm still telling you,
shutting off my water
into a water cooling loop.
I should.
You should.
And I'm going to take this copper too. When I take it all out and put in PEX or whatever I do, maybe I'll just sweat a different. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the problem. Who added all these games? Space Games Quick Updates. Is this Jeremy?
I think it was a consortium of more than one person.
Well, I added one.
Okay.
I see Rock Paper Shotgun. That's got to be Jeremy.
No.
Whoa.
Nope. I added that one.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? Guide me through this.
This is an Elite Dangerous update that now includes a previous pay-for-play Horizons DLC that they're now including for $0. Come to find out, the rumor was the uptake on Horizons was not a significant percentage of actual Elite Dangerous owners, but the next update, which I believe is called Odyssey, requires Horizons. So I think it's in their best interest to throw it in order to widen the base of users who can actually upgrade to Odyssey. And throwing it in for $0 is I don't remember what it cost. I think I originally upgraded to Horizons when they brought it out. I think it was like $20.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, when I was playing it some time ago.
But hey, you get a special hat if you already own it.
True. So I'll look out for my special hat, perhaps. But anyway, it's actually a reasonable deal. Horizons is actually cool. And what Horizons' primary add to Elite Dangerous is that you got to drive space buggies. You get to land on the planets and drive them around and interact with things that were on the surface of the planet and do things like that. The next upgrade, Odyssey, actually allows you to put feet down. Individual users roaming pretty much every planetary body. So going to be actually fairly interesting if you like the exploration, combat, trading game, that sort of thing. That sort of thing you like. You'll like this.
Does Steam tell me when I bought it?
Oh, I got to go back and look. I think
because I literally have not fired it up because it just keeps annoying me in the press and various other ways. I really should.
But they got your money once. It doesn't matter. It's in your library somewhere.
It's in your library, and that's really more important than actually playing the game. Is it in your library? Then you can kind of strut around with that knowledge of, at least I own it.
It's still even in my favorites. I just haven't.
Can you imagine? What if developers got paid for, like, actual game time? There'd be a lot of games that just don't make money, and then there'd be games like Dota that would make people billionaires many, many times over.
I thought
yeah.
that's how it worked already.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying. What if Steam had
Imagine-
to keep on paying you royalties for hours played?
Imagine original version of StarCraft, for instance.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is the original version still being played?
I
is-
guarantee you
It is, and heavily by the
Korea.
South Koreans. South Koreans.
It was never a StarCraft. Well, StarCraft 2 was much later. I'm thinking like
Yeah,
the whole
I-
Warcraft 2.
Yeah,
Well,
from
there
a-
was Brood
thing.
Wars.
Well, yeah, StarCraft, Brood Wars. I'm
Okay.
actually a more of an aficionado of the original series of StarCraft. I didn't really like the second one as much. The original one is better.
I like my Blizzard games to be software rendered. Thank you very much. So
Oh,
Diablo 2.
Well, don't worry. No matter what
Warcraft,
resolution you're
Warcraft
running
Hey,
at,
hey,
you're
Diablo
still seeing-
2 lighting was hardware rendered.
It was.
Just hardware 3D.
He is absolutely right.
Light initially.
cool.
I guess I've only ever played it software. I didn't realize that you could play it hardware.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wide,
what's-
800 by 600.
Sit a while and listen.
I added the next one too, which was
wow.
October
Bullshit.
2nd is the release of Star Wars Squadrons. But I just want to
Yeah.
warn everybody, EA is selling it pre-release. Yeah, don't yet.
Don't.
They don't. Well, no, you never buy anything pre-release from EA, right? I mean, that should be written in stone. Don't buy any pre-release EA
But
games.
why?
Don't
No.
pre-order games, children.
Well, okay, in general, probably don't do that, but especially don't do that for any EA game. Even if they're giving away special paint jobs, resist the urge. They've said and sworn up and down, cross their heart and hope to die, no loot boxes. No, it's you and your disbelief.
Star crates.
No, they've said no loot boxes, no crate, no in-game currency other than an experience-related currency that as you gain experience and win, that you can trade that for cosmetics only. Cosmetics
But-
only.
So an
But what if
invisible
you're a
flight
bard
jet.
Okay.
and you want a loot box?
hmm You're gonna have to play a different game.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
You-
This is
you
not the
didn't
game
get
for
that
you.
one, did you?
I did, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed it.
Loot. LUTE.
Oh.
That's it, your
Oh.
bard.
Oh, you two.
Oh.
You know what? You know
Yes.
what? That's
Yes.
exactly.
Puts all the points in charisma and none in intelligence, I think is where
Yep.
we're going with that.
It's like, you know what? Can I roll a new character? Can I?
Trolley case.
I just want to roll a new character because the one I'm playing right now is not going
that's frowned upon by the American Suicide Prevention
to.
people. So
I am so.
just stick with what you got and work with it. You
Yes.
you can find much success.
There are people out there to help.
No, I think I can
Maybe
do
not
better.
right here at this moment, but there are people to help.
All right, I'll think about it, but I think I'm played out. I didn't add the last one. I think that's probably that Jeremy guy.
Yeah, no, I did. And, speaking of buying games before they exist, but Kickstarter I will still do because honestly, I'm batting about 800 on Kickstarter. A couple of them screwed
really?
me, but for the vast majority, it's been pretty good. I pick and choose. So this is actually a fairly well-known developer. But so they did The Long War, which turned the remake of XCOM into an interesting game.
Oh,
I don't know if anyone's played The Long War, but it's great. It actually turns it into what feels like a struggle like the original did. So this one, I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I'm still waiting on Xenonauts 2, which is going to be great eventually when it comes out, because Xenonauts 1 was really, really good for the original XCOM. This one, I sort of looked at it and I'm like, okay, and then they switch to, and the battle isn't going to be won on Earth. And they start scrolling out, and now it's a realistic model of our solar system with planets and moons. And a lot of the bases that you're building aren't on Earth. They're on a moon or another planet. And you're trying to mine resources there and to build spaceships to go out and fight the aliens, still with the intricacy of the actual XCOM base building. So all of a sudden it went from, okay, we've got another XCOM one to, well, nobody's done that before. And the maps actually look really pretty on one of the intro videos. It really does look like you skip ahead a little bit, and they might show you once they get out into the universe. And of course, ship-to-ship combat with, Newtonian physics, which is rare to find these days. So we'll see. It's already blown through by a significant amount. They wanted 20K. They're pushing 60. So I could be leading you wrong. I hope I'm not. It should be very interesting to see, because I trust these guys from the Long War, from the XCOM remake.
I have a confession to make. I had this in there and I removed it. Not that it's not good, but I'm like, I don't want to push it.
You're just jumping on the Jeremy bandwagon now, Brett, which is okay.
I'm calling favor with the Jeremy.
Mm-hmm. Well, trying to steal his thunder isn't exactly how I would.
You chose poorly.
You chose poorly.
Hey,
talk about no emoting. All right, sorry.
Well, that was his character in that
one. Jeremy,
waiting 1,000 years for a pizza. Yes,
Jeremy, you have a sneak peek at something you're working on.
The Data Share. It's an English company, so by putting a really, that sort of an accent on it is kind of funny, at least to me.
So what, like a Southern accent, Southern American accent?
It's
the Data Share BT.
Does BT? Does that mean Bluetooth? Is that what that means?
It does indeed.
Okay.
It is a wee little USB drive, shiny as all hell. It's secure, but the thing with this one is that, and these guys do enterprise security level. This is AES XPS 256, whatever the hell they're calling this particular one now. But it's the advanced AE 256. It has Bluetooth on it because it's powered by your cell phone. So as long as your cell phone is within the area of the Bluetooth connection, it pings you for the passcode on the cell phone. So you can plug this into a computer and try and brute force it, and you're never even going to get a prompt. It's also got two-factor authentication, so the first thing it does is send you a text, and if you don't reply to the text, it never even moves on to the password. So it's an interesting thing that literally the second you lose the damn thing, which has always been my concern with enterprise secure drives, is that second you lose it, you're pretty much screwed. Someone's going to get into it. With this, you've lost it. Well, they need the phone to try and do it. They can try and replicate the phone. They got 10 strikes before it completely wipes itself, to the point where you have to reformat it before it's even readable. As far as my PC is concerned, it's not readable. It doesn't even exist being plugged in until I unlock it via either the two-factor authentication or just the password. So I'm interested. I've pretty much done most of my stuff with it, so I'm going to try and rate it up. There is a bit of a spoiler on this. It's $150 for the 64 gig version. Because it's British, you're also paying a significant amount of shipping to get it over here.
Mate.
If you were over there, it'd be about £100, which still is significantly expensive. So I don't know if this is a great thing to buy for your own personal use, but if you've got people that work with you that, consider the whole never plug in a USB drive, let alone put anything important on it, they consider that just an annoying suggestion, might almost be worth looking at, because it is enterprise grade, and for the ones that can never remember a password, yes, it does the fingerprint and the face recognition.
All right. Hey,
yeah,
it's coming soon. More information about this drive from Jeremy.
But I've used some of their key lock ones for secure shipping hard drives and SSDs around, and they're pretty damn good. This is a little more convenient.
Let's move on to our last segment known as Picks of the Week. And I don't see anything for Josh here. Is that the case?
You know what? Why don't I just tell you about it?
Okay.
It's the free Japan update for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Ooh, okay.
Is that the one with the perfectly normal chasm in it, or was that the other one?
That's I don't know where that one is that turns into Interstellar when you fly through it.
Yeah, I just saw that today, and it was an impressive.
Yeah, no, this is they've gone through certain areas in Japan and put actual landmarks and a lot more accurate building and bridges, stuff like that. You can actually get in there, fly a Beechcraft King Air, and it's like 2.5 hours of flying. And they will take you through a bunch of the different places that you should kind of see. Just that they've, done airports, they've done cities, they've done landmarks, mountains. Mount Fuji in there is a lot more accurate now, apparently. So yeah, it's a free update on your Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. So grab it. It's good. I flew around Japan last night quite a bit. Only crashed once into a mountain. Going too fast.
Okay, thank you for specifying what you crashed into.
Yeah.
I was a little worried there for a moment.
Yeah.
The 4K gameplay is incredible looking.
Yeah. It's good stuff, Maynard. And it still chomps down on a 3080. You get some lower frame rates in at higher quality settings in some of these areas. So
are you talking sub 30?
Yeah, it dips into 20 sometimes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's a 2020 is a beast.
Have you bought a 4 terabyte drive just for the game though?
No, but I split it off between my NVMe boot drive and my game drive. So there's
so it's reading from two different sources.
What's that?
It's reading from two different sources. Huh.
Yeah. So trying to get it faster.
Hey, Jeremy, somebody wants to know if that previous SSD portable secure device works with Linux.
Apparently it even works with Apple.
No.
Well, they were saying platform agnostic, right?
If you work with people that really want a Chromebook.
What secure information are you keeping on a Chromebook?
Don't ask me. I will cry live on the internet.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I thought everybody did everything in the cloud on Chromebooks.
Yeah. Like I said, what information are you keeping on the Chromebook?
They still find a way.
Okay.
Hey, only two things in this universe are infinite, and yeah.
Jeremy, can you tell me what Wabajack is? This is apparently your pick.
I have no idea.
You don't know what it is?
Perfect.
Yes. No, this was someone that was tweeting me earlier today. So, I mean, anyone who's still got the bingo cards going on, here's Jeremy going on about mods. I have been usually using either ModDB or Nexus to grab the various mods that I do for things. And they came out with Vortex, which is a decent mod manager. So I was introduced to Wabajack, which is a different one, which is apparently done by the same guy that did Vortex. And it looks pretty. Like it's sort of a mod manager, but more of a mod source. So it's definitely worth looking at. I mean, Button Pusher is like me, and he just doesn't like playing vanilla games if he doesn't have to. So it's worth looking. And some of the ones they've got there are just friggin' gorgeous. And they're mods on mods. Like somebody redid Endiriel. Endiriel is a total conversion mod for Skyrim, which is very Eastern European in flavor, and nobody wins, but you enjoy it along the way. If you haven't played it, it's worth it. So he sort of redid that one. Another one. It's a lot of Skyrim and Fallout 4. Someone's united Fallout New Vegas and the Fallout 4 map into a single giant mega map.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, It's probably gonna my career, I believe, is what it was called. So there's a few in there that look interesting, and I'm probably gonna have to try it out because I've got all the time in the world to play with things. The one that really caught my eye, and it's just literally from one screenshot, is Keizaal, Keizaal. It's a Z, but I mean you guys. So it's just a single screenshot of one of those Dragonborn murals, and it's gorgeous. The lighting on it is enough to make me think that, you know, this one, when I finally fire up Skyrim Special Edition, might be one of the ones that I try, as opposed to trying to stack 200 mods upon each other. Like, isn't that gorgeous?
It's very dark.
Detail-y.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Very detail-y.
I mean, is it fully path traced though?
Well, of course not. It's